Hi YouTubers and subscribers, and what is Starry Hilder doing with some firewood in front of a really big pile of firewood? Well, I'm continuing our series on the importance of wood on a homestead. I mean, people, we cannot advocate this enough. If you are serious about going off the grid or just being more self-sufficient, wood. This is the key to, I shouldn't say survival, but I tell you what, staying warm in the wintertime, there has to be an option. If you live in a region where there is winter, there is cold, and you have to heat your off-grid or self-sustainable homestead, firewood is definitely the #1 way to do it. So again, today in this series, we're going to be talking about firewood, and I'm going to be giving you some more tips on what the heck? Okay, so what is Starry doing in front of a big pile of scrap wood? This is supposed to be about harvesting firewood, right? Yeah, this is firewood. It burns. All these scrap pieces of 2x4s and 6x6s. My husband went to the recycling center and look at this. He hit the jackpot. We always hit the jackpot. This is where you have to think outside the box. If you live in the city and you don't have access to the woods and you can't just go cut yourself a tree, well, don't worry, because recycling centers usually have lots of free wood because contractors and other entities are always dumping this stuff off. They think this is scrap, it's not worth anything. But you know what? This burns. This is wood. It burns. So don't say you can't buy yourself a wood stove and burn wood if you live in the city. You can. And always think outside the box. Recycling centers, the dump, Craigslist is another great resource too, where people are giving this stuff away. And also remember, this is a piece of treated lumber. Treated lumber, does not burn. Very bad. So if you see anything that's green, get rid of it. Or just pass it up. Okay, and I know there's one other thing that we really need to address before we even move forward, because a lot of you at home may be saying, Starry, hello, I don't have a Mr. Hilder at home who can cut and stack wood like him. In fact, you know, I'm a little old, or I'm disabled, or I live by myself. Don't panic. I'm going to show you the alternative to not having a man like Mr. Hilder on your homestead. So let's take a road trip and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so your next option, if you can't harvest the wood yourself, is to buy one of these. No. Oh no, I'm just kidding. I'm actually on site. This is where they are doing some logging, and you can actually purchase wood like this, in lengths like this. And I know when we lived back in Wisconsin, we would call up the logger and we'd ask him, you know, what type of wood he had. A lot of the time it was hardwood, and he would come and drop off a big old pile just like this right at our home, and it was up to my husband and I to obviously cut it with the chainsaw and split it. We did save a lot of money, because obviously there is work involved in processing this type of wood. You can also buy wood already pre-cut, and here's a pile. I think this is just their scrap pile, but if there are local resources besides a logger, there are people out there who will sell wood in cut pieces already like really this. Nice wood. I hope they're not going to just leave it here. I might have to come scout this out again. This is a really good spot. But just know that you can buy logs like this and have them delivered. You're just going to have to do a little research where you live and find out who are the loggers, where are they, and call them up. Now this is another important thing that I really want to touch base on. It is the wood stove. Now, there may be a lot of you people at home right now who live in suburbia who can't afford, say, to buy a wood stove and go the wood burning method. That's okay. But what happens if you are, say, a prepper and you're really concerned about the SHTF and an emergency? What is your backup plan for heat? Oh, hello. Do you have a backup plan? We do. We always have a backup plan. And on our homestead, even when we lived on the grid, a barrel stove. This is awesome. steel drum that you can find basically at recycling centers, at the dump. You can even buy them in some places. They want to get rid of them for 15, 20 bucks. Get yourself a steel drum. Doesn't have to be new. It can be old, it can be rusted, and what you do is you convert this into a wood stove. How? Vogel's saying. This will be on my STARRYS store. It is a kit that converts steel drums into a wood stove. Very easy. You don't have to be, you know, some type of engineer to figure this out. It comes with a door. It comes with a damper, and all you have to do is cut a hole in this steel drum, and voila, you have yourself heat. And this is the best heat. Now, the other thing is you can store this outside indefinitely until that emergency comes. But people, have a backup plan for heat. The barrel stove is just an ingenious way to not spend a lot of money and have a wood stove available in case something happens. Okay, so now I brought you into our house, and I want to share with you what type of wood stove we chose for our self-reliant homestead. And people, I'm not going to give you guys advice as to what type of wood stove you should be looking at, because there's so many different variables when it comes to wood stoves. I mean, square footage of your house, what type of wood you're going to burn, what you're really going to use it for. Is it just going to be a wood stove, or is it going to be something like we chose? This is a kitchen queen, and it is multifaceted. Okay, let me give you a quick tour of the stove, the firebox. Depending on what size house you're going to be heating, yeah, that's the size firebox you're going to be getting. For us, it was just the perfect size. And I want to show you inside the firebox, we got the other option. This is, look at that. This is where the water runs through. So I have nice hot water in the dead of winter, and my wood stove heats it. It comes with, oh, remember Grandma when she used to use her wood stove to bake breads and all that great stuff like pizza and baked chicken. Oh, look at that. So it comes with a beautiful oven. Cooktop. I have done canning even on top of this cooktop. So throughout the winter, I do my baking and my cooktop cooking on it. Oh, spit it out, sorry. We use propane on our homestead. We aren't relying on propane year-round. When winter comes, we fire this baby up, and that's what we're using for our cooking, our baking, our heating water needs, and our heating of our house. So a really great self-sustainable wood stove.